Hello everyone, hope you're all well, and welcome back to another Microsoft Flight Simulator Let's Play. Well, we're back in the 737 again, and well, I wanted to start off the sort of PMDG 737 stuff on my channel with, you know, a bit of a shorter video, which is why I did Cleveland to build as my first flight. But if I'm going to be really honest with you guys, this is the flight that sort of caught my attention when I found out that this was going to be releasing. It is indeed one of the Westjet Transcons. I sort of looked at, you know, 737-700 operators and so on and so forth, you know, as you do, and obviously knew that Westjet had a fair few of them, and I thought, oh okay, let's have a look and see what sort of interesting flights they have. And I found the Transcon from, you know, the few flights that they run between Vancouver and Toronto. And 737-700s do drop on those flights, and I thought, you know what, yeah, let's do it. So that is why we are on the ground at Toronto-Pearson, and we're taking a WestJet 737-700 all the way to Vancouver. 5-hour flight, about £31,233 of fuel on board. This is going to be a good one. Right, without further ado, let's go. Let's get ourselves set up. So, we are at stand Charlie 30 at Pearson. So, what I will do is I'll go to menu, FMC, and posit it. So we are at Charlie Yankee Zulu at gate Charlie 30. Now, is this going to be in the database or not? We'll find out. Moment of truth. Way! It's in. Right, okay. Copy that in. And that is all Gucci. So, what you can do is go back, go to our route, and request a flight plan. We are Charlie Yankee Zulu, Charlie Yankee Victor Romeo. Select that, request that, wait for that to load in. Today we're Westjet 705, so we can enter that into our flight number section. Route uplink ready, we'll load that, and just wait for all that to load in. So we'll have a crosswind on departure. They're like, the wind's out at 140, but in real life they're using 24 left for departure. So what we'll do is we'll just enter that in as well and execute. So basic route is literally just a bunch of directs, because so when you're doing a great circle over calendar, there's no airways. But nevertheless, we will go back and sort our weights out. So we'll go menu FS actions and enter our fuel in. Again, we're carrying £31,233 of fuel. We've actually got fuel in the centre. That is, if that's any indication of how full we are. Now, again, we'll go back to payload. You know what? Go to init ref. Or no, you know what? No. Ignore me. I'm just way too excited for this. So, FS actions, payload. And our zero fuel weight today is 114.842. So just round it up to 114.9. Enter that in. Loaded at 84% load level. And that looks all well and good. So that's fine. And we'll go to our init perf init request, and just you know, let that do its thing. So we're cruising initially at flight level 360, but we will have a step climb somewhere along the route. So that looks fine. Reserves for us are I don't even know if you heard that, but that's a 350. Reserves for us today are 4.5 tons, or £4,500. So just enter that in. And Westjet use a cost index of, well, between 20 and 25. I think I set Costa X25 on sim brief. So that's that in, and execute. That all looks fine. N1 limit will sort out soon, so we'll just do a departure and arrival. So we're departing 24 left on the, if I can get my charts up, we are departing on the ABc6 Departure, which is conveniently near enough at the top. So we're departing on the ABc6 Departure with the OTNIC transition, no, with the MUSIT transition, sorry. So we'll just pop that in. And, you know, being a departure out of Pearson, it's a climb on runway heading to 1000, then a slight left turn, and then radar vectors to TLAM. So it would be a departure we'll fly sort of semi-manually to begin with. If we look at our legs page, there's a nice little vector page there. Okay, so, moment of truth, can this aircraft do step climbs? So we're cruising 360 initially, and then to 4930 north and 10,000 west and 1000 west is where we step up to flight level 380. So 3800 step. Invalid entry. Okay, cool. So 38,000 S. Invalid entry. Okay, so can't do step climbs. Cheers then. Or do you have to type in flight level 380 S? Invalid. Okay. Okay, so as it turns out, we can't do step climbs with this. Isn't that great? Or do you go route data? No. I swear you used to be able to do step climbs in the 1MP3D. Oh well. Right, I'll have to find out how to do that at some point eventually. Right, in any case, route data, request a wins. Just wait for that to all load in. Load in the win data. And execute. That all looks fine. We have our fuel on board. We have our passengers on board. Or rather our payload on board. Take a quick look outside. Jetway's still connected. Alright, that's fine. So, I'm fairly sure. Or do you do it on the legs page? Why is it invalid? Ah, okay, okay. Ah, okay, I see it now. Just a second, okay. Unless you just click it like so. You erase that. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is so modify that with flight level 380. Invalid entry. Okay. Well, this will be a. Okay. No, never mind. Right. Okay. Let me try. Let me just try and load up the flight plan again. See what it does. Yeah, Omar tries doing step climbs without knowing how to do them. Isn't that great? You know what, there's bound to be something on it in the documentation. It's just 1 second while I try and rip my hair out over it. Oh, okay. If I can find a folder, that'd be great. Right, root uplink ready, load. I'll just reset that. Right, okay, so I don't think you can do step climbs in this. Yeah, okay, I don't think you can do step climbs in this. That's a shame. Okay, root data uplink, activate, execute. So I'll just set my my cruising altitude as 380 by default then. Flight plan. Just fetch that from vPilot. Okay. So we'll type our flight number back in again. So Westjet 705. Enter that. Runway 24 left. Execute. Let's check our legs page again. That looks fine. So go to departure, arrival, departure. We're doing the ABc6 MUSIT transition off of 24 left. Execute. Check our route again, and we will do our takeoff things. So wind at Pearson at the moment is, if I can find it, is 140 at 5. I'll enter that in. And today we're taking off with yeah, so today we are, well, we'll set to our N1 limit first. So according to VAS, we can do D-rate 1 with a select temp of 29. So we will do exactly that. D-rate our climb as well, just for noise abatement. D-rate to 29. Okay, go to our takeoff page, flaps 5. Click our CG in. It's a very satisfying CG. So we are quite heavy, so B1 135, rotate 136, and V2 142. Excellent. That looks good. Right, another thing I want to do quickly is just make sure I've got the correct panel state loaded, so... Not panel state, sorry, aircraft config, so... Okay. Just for the sake of realism. So as always, I'll put that into our legs page, and that into it, not into init ref, into takeoff speed page. Okay, keep it as that. Although what I can do quickly is turn the APU on, as it is pretty much time for us to leave. So do quick flow first before we do anything. So we turn our fuel pumps on, or rather one fuel pump on. Your damper needs to come on as well. Seatbelt sign can come on too because we've finished fueling. I'll just put that to TR1. That looks fine. Packs go to auto. Isolation valve go to auto. Engine bleeds can go off for now as well. So cruising at 360 today from the looks of it, or I'll just do a step climb manually. In any case, fuel pumps on, and let's get the APU started up. Another thing I can do in the meantime is pre-plan our pushback. Just so for the sake of ease, really, just so I don't forget. Toolbar Pushback is honestly a saviour. That's the thing I've noticed about MSFS. It's just sort of like the best of you know, X-Plane, and the sort of best things about X-Plane and P3D all in one sim. It's great. Right, simple pushback, out and back in. Just wait for our, just wait for the APU generators to become available. Very satisfying just to do that. Okay, APU generator off bus. Do that. Kill the ground power. And go back to our FMC. Get rid of the jetway. First and foremost. FS actions, doors. That's shut as well. Okay, excellent. Okay, so we can return. Set our parking brake and remove the chocks. And with that, I think we're pretty much all done. We're ready for pushback and engine start. Oh god, this will be a very, very, very long flight. I think it might be the longest flight I've done, but I am so looking forward to it. Toolbar pushback.
Cockpit to ground.
Do your thing.
This is ground. Stand by.
Ah, there's one thing I've got to. Go to our takeoff page again. So we want V2 142. Just set that in. 142. On the autothrottle. Flight director 1 and 2 can go on.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed.
If I can reach the flight
parking
director.
brakes are set. You may lift.
There we go. Flight
Parking
director on.
brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
Autothrottle on. VNAV, LNAV. Easy.
We are cleared for start and push.
Again, no ATC.
Okay, clear for push start. Please release parking brake.
I'll set
Parking
that to
brakes are
360
released.
eventually.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
Right, okay.
It will start in the sequence.
Can do is block timer on, beacon light on, and just turn the APU bleed on. So I actually forgot to do that. I'm an idiot. And turn the packs off. And let's fire up engine 1. Oh, and fuel pumps can go on as well. Completely forgot. You can tell I'm so used just to flying Airbuses that I forget to do basic things like this. N2 rising. And once it hits 20, in goes the fuel. One job now. Just that little hum as the engine goes on. Beautiful. Isn't that a beautiful noise? Soon we should hear the start selected click. There we go. And starting engine number 1. Same procedure, just wait for the N2 to reach about 20, bring the fuel in, and yeah, Bob's your uncle. Oh, don't need panel lights. Right. Bring the fuel in. There you go.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Parking brake set. Lowering aircraft.
Wait, does this have a flight control? Oh, it's got a flight control page.
Ground. Startup is complete.
Superb.
You may disconnect.
Right. On
Roger. Good
the
engine start.
auto
Clear to
brakes.
disconnect. See you at the side. Have a good flight.
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and
That's the
goodbye.
engine start switch, so bring it to Gen 1, bring it to Gen 2. And engine bleeds can go on, packs to auto, APU bleed can go off, and APU can go off. There we go. Okay, ProPeats, before I forget them, can go on as well. And we will do our flight control check. So, normally just, well, okay, why is there a localizer? Amazing. Right, full down, full up, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, and full left, full right, neutral. Excellent. Right, that's flight controls all working clearly. So we're in Canada. XPNDR on the box. Turn our taxi light on. Turn offs can stay off for now. Release the parking brake, and off we go. We are a very heavy aircraft, so we will need to give it some power. Set flaps 5. And what we can do is set our trim as well to about 6. Is that 6.25? Yes, it is. Okay, so yeah, that'll do. Awesome. And first begins our taxi 224 left. I believe I have done the taxis 2-4 left in the CRJ before. Or is that another one? Oh well. I'm sure that this will be over a lot quicker. Right, we want to set our headings for runway heading. Just for departure. So, make a left hit. 237 into the MCP. So we'll taxi on Alpha, and then turn onto Charlie to then line up onto. Oh, excuse me. To then line up onto G4 left. Yeah, we'll, I don't know, it'd be quite funny if it's actually just longer than the actual flight. Isn't this just a gorgeous aircraft? Look at it. The little wobble you get off the wings as well, that's really, really nice. God, the amount of screenshots I've taken of this thing, crazy. Give it a bit more power, just to get us moving a bit more quickly. Again, we are on VATSIM, which explains why Pearson is just very empty. About 10 miles and about at 20, yeah, why not? I go 16 knots is about alright, and I think just momentum will take the rest away. What we can do as well is terrain and data. And just data on this window. No, not airports. Data. Thank you. Yeah, this is very different to taxi to the Airbus. but it's also very nice to taxi as well. But again, I'm very, very excited to see what the future holds for this aircraft. So much like the fly-by-wire Neos, it's obviously going to be updated frequently along the line once the SDK allows it to, and yeah, I'm very excited for it. And honestly, with you know, sort of with the progress that the fly-by-wire Neo has made, you know, an entirely freeware project that started from near enough, you know, nothing to being at the state it is now. Absolutely incredible. Right, I'll just put some more power in as well. But we're really heavy, so the aircraft will have a habit of slowing down. What we can do actually is brake and turn just so we're off the apron. And then make a right hand onto Charlie. There's 2-4 right, but we're taking off from 2-4 left. So yeah, sort of not our thing at the moment. Right, another thing I can do as well quickly is turn the engine start switches to continuous for takeoff. Lights all look fine for now. Give a chime eventually. MCP is all set up. I say that, but I need to set that to 360. There we go. Yeah, as I said, this aircraft does have a habit of slowing down, especially when we're as heavy as we are at the moment. We're constantly like cycling the thrust levers on and off. FlyTampa's Pearson is honestly just stunning. It performs really, really well as well. I'm really happy about that. It's a shame about obviously PAXIM's Cleveland scenery. It's nice enough scenery, but it's not as well optimised as I'd like it to be, so we're just getting really, really bad stutters. But I digress. We should be coming up to the holding point very shortly. I'm going to do a full length departure out of here simply because we're so heavy. Give ourselves a quick wing view actually. No, could just have a small wing view on departure, because who doesn't like that? So very clearly performs better when I look away from the terminal. Okay, so we're going to make the right turn just at the end. And because we're crossing a runway, our strobes come on. Logo light can stay off, it's quite bright out. Can do as well is turn our TCAS on. Slow braking. There's 2-4 right, so we're taking off from 2-4 left, which is to the left of it. And nothing on our TCAS, and we're cleared both sides. Let's keep it going. Oh well, it's give or take a 10-minute taxi. Sorry. I keep forgetting just how big Pearson is. It's crazy. Right, there's 2-4 right, which isn't ours. So what we can do is, you know what, we'll do a rolling takeoff. giving it a sort of nice shallow turn in. LED landing lights on these, no retractables, so we've only got the 2 switches there. And if you look at front, there's the LEDs. Again, I don't know if you can hear that, but there are just so many trains outside mine. Give it some power. Just re-roll in. Again, we've got no objections from anyone online, if there is anyone online. And it all looks good. Go back to the engine page. Just keep it at that. Okay. Start the clock. And just give it a slight bit of power just to get us onto the runway. We go runway 24 left confirmed. Bring the power in. Babel and Toga. That is beautiful. Nice little wing view. Keep ourselves on the centre line. There we go.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. And goodbye, Toronto. Just amplify the aircraft for a tiny bit. That is gorgeous. It's also a very steep climb. Right, autopilot on. Heading select. And we can go to our legs page and make that direct to TLAN and execute. And go back to LNAV. Let that make the turn. Bring the flaps up eventually. Just sort of once we start making that turn, once our D rate expires. You know what? Flaps 1. Disarm the auto brakes. Given we're well above the ground. And zoom that out. And for the first time, it'll actually make sense zooming it out as far as we're zooming it out at the moment. Right, flaps can go back up. We've done the climb 2 D rate as, well, we're sort of above Toronto, don't want to wake everyone up prematurely. Gear can go off, turn-offs can go off, and taxi lights can go off. Engine start switches back to off. That all looks fine. Flaps are up. Clock's running. And climbing is occurring. And with that concludes our departure out of Toronto and the start of a very, very long transcontinental leap across to Vancouver. I hope you've enjoyed that as much as I have. I hope you're as ready as I am for a 5-hour flight in a 737. But I will see you after a few cinematics for the approach and landing into Vancouver. hello everybody and welcome back. 4 and a bit hours later, and you joined me in our descent into Vancouver. We're taking the Calic 5 arrival in, and one thing I want to do first before I continue on is turn terrain radar on, because if you look down below, and if you know anything about British Columbia, there are a lot of mountains here. So just to be on the safe side, I'll turn the terrain radar on. ATC in Vancouver is not online at the moment, so we're effectively just hand flying this. If I can get the speed brakes out, that'd be great. So we're effectively flying this manually. We'll intercept the ILS for 8 left on our own, and then just sort the rest out as it happens. So I've also turned the anti-ice on, because obviously our true air temperature is below freezing and we're flying through a lot of clouds, so I don't really want to risk it. And yeah, just again, it's always a good idea just to play it safe rather than to sort of take chances. But I digress. So I don't want to zoom in that far. We can turn our bank angle up as well. Because we are flying approach now, so the last thing I want is just be limited to 10 degrees of bank. So we're at our deceleration point now, or rather our deceleration point down to 250. So I think there's a speed constraint in on. I believe there's a speed constraint in on one of the waypoints. So approach reference, we can fill that in once we get there. So let's go back to the legs page for now. LNAV and VNAV working very nicely to keep us on profile. I'm very glad about that. One less thing to worry about. So at some point soon we'll end up sort of blasting through clouds. I'll do a little wing view as well, just to have a look. Oh, I just love them MSFS volumetric clouds, it's just so nice. That is flawless. I'm just passing over all of these like valleys and fjords and whatnot. It's honestly so pretty. Would genuinely love to go on a hiking holiday here. Right, and sort of once we pass through that cloud layer, the turbulence begins. All fun and games. If I look on Valanta quickly, we're apparently passing over. Oh god, I don't want to risk mispronouncing this. We're apparently passing over Port Coquitlam. I'm going to die, aren't I? Like, everyone watching this from Canada, or more specifically British Columbia, is going to kill me. All fun and games. Right, sink our heading bug again. Got a bit of a headwind on our descent. So a varying headwind, as explains what's causing the turbulence. So from here, it's near enough tracking the same heading all the way, sort of downwind to the runway. And if I recall correctly, there should be a track around 263. So I'll set 263 into our heading bug. But yeah, it should be 263 in theory, given it's exactly downwind to 083. But I digress. So we're flying into the FSimStudios Vancouver scenery. I've never flown into this airport before either. So yeah, I'm very curious to see how it would work out. Checking, everything. ATC still isn't online. So again, we're sort of taking this approach down on our own. hoping, sort of hoping no one else is there. But yeah. So what we can do is just keep our altitude. Well, just keep our altitude set to 6,000 for now. There's a speed restriction of 210 knots at Vinlo. You know what? I'll reset our MCP altitude to 5,000. Right. Speaking of altitude, passing 10,000. Landing lights on. There we go. Sort of once we turn around, we see them just shining very brightly through the clouds. Very nice. So the thing with Vancouver is, it's also got noise abatement procedures, so we can only use idle reverse. And the way the place where Westjet Park is a bit of an odd one, so we're going auto brake free and idle reverse for this landing, in the hopes of making a decent enough intersection for us to be able to taxi to our stand. Right, what we can do as well is get some flaps now. We'll set flaps 5 just to slow us down, to give us a bit of drag on the leading edge. And we'll go speed into Veen and 210. Don't want to be too far below 210. So we'll just keep it at flaps 5 for now. We don't need to extend anymore. Right. As far as flows are concerned, so we've set our ILS data, we've set 083 and we've set 11055 in our nav radios. That's all well and good. Anti-ice we'll still keep on for now. We'll probably turn it on once we're on our final approach course. So we can brief ourselves on the approach. So we're on the Canuck 5 arrival now, which at the moment is leading us downwind of runway 8 left and its localizer, and at some point soon we'll end up turning base and then intercepting the localizer itself into Vancouver. Again, fairly simple ILS approach. There shouldn't be too much of a difficulty. We have a really thick layer of cloud here, and yeah, over the Puget Sound. I believe that is the Puget Sound, but correct me if I'm wrong. And we are greeted by an immense amount of little islets and fjords. It's honestly a gorgeous, gorgeous part of the world. And with that, we can actually set our MCP altitude to 3,000, just keep us descending. And yeah, engine start switches we'll leave for now as well. I don't want to set them too early. Tell you what, I genuinely cannot see anything. This is crazy. I'll keep the anti-ice on for now as well. It's a bit too close to freezing and a bit too cloudy for my liking. Right, zoom in the NDs. And what we can do as well is cycle the flight directors. If I can reach the click spots, that'd be nice. Okay, still on profile, all very good. And what we can do as well from here is take on heading select mode. Just instead of so if I can sort of get what I'm trying to say, instead of sort of tracking this out infinitely beyond Vimlo, we'll just sort of do our own thing, turn base as we want to. So just keep on going for now. We're sort of nowhere near 3,000, I think sort of around 4,000 is when I'll begin making the turn. You know what? Level change. Just put it on level change and let it acquire 3,000 that way. So we'll just keep on carrying on for now. And yeah, so what we can do is we can do our sort of pre-landing flow, so we can arm our speed brakes, we can turn our engine start switches to continuous. Turn-offs I'll turn on once we're established. So with that, we can turn to about 120. There we go. And what I'll do now as well is I'll go into our approach reference page. Set that. Landing flaps 30, VREF 131. Excellent. So we'll stay, you know what? Turn us into 115. We can slow down to about 180 knots. And once we slow beneath the band, I'll give us flaps 10, which appears to be now. So speed check, flaps 10. And I'll arm the approach as well, why not? There we go, alarm the approach. So localizers coming in. Wait for the diamond to slide over. And stay at around 180 knots for now. Oh, traffic. Very nice. This thing, he's above us and I can't really see him, so... And I've not gotten any sort of advisory on the TCAS, so I'll consider myself...
Vancouver traffic, Walker 1601, extended downwind for 8 left, Vancouver.
Well, I may as well tell him we've got him on TCAS. Vancouver traffic, Westjet 705, we've got you on TCAS.
Roger, got you as well.
Alright, wicked. Right, so what I can do is set 083 as our heading. You know what? Yeah, there we go. I'll just set the I'll set our missed approach stuff in as well. So that's fine. And the missed approach course is well, it's inbound 264 radial. Ah, and I can't change that, never mind. I'll just keep it as it is then, no worries. No, our missed approach course is 264 radial into Pitt Meadows, which we hopefully won't need, so yeah, it's not too bad. Right, turn offs I'll turn on as well, taxi lights can stay off. What I can do as well is turn the anti-ice off. convinced the temperature is high enough now to sort of not warrant it. Glide slopes coming in. About 9 miles out. So it's about 150 knots. And what I will do is also I'll tell traffic that we're established. So, Vancouver traffic, Westjet 705 fully established, ILS8 left, 10 miles out of Vancouver. So, gear down. Just give us a bit more drag. And flaps 15. We'll maintain 160 till 4 DME. I'll give us another notch of flaps, I'll give us flaps 25. There's no HUD on this one, so again we're sort of flying it traditionally, shall we say. No 7 DME, 4 DME should be creeping up to us very shortly. Let's get a quick view outside before that happens. There's us almost fully configured. Oh, that's gorgeous. Can't beat it. There we go. Right, again, it's 6 DME. Keep us going at 160 for now.
Vancouver traffic, Walker 1601, let's start the RNAV Zulu at 8 left at ECAM, about 15 miles out, so Vancouver traffic.
Right, so he's not too far behind us. And we're coming up to about 5 DME, so I'll slow down to our final approach speed. Plus about 5 knots, so flaps 30. Let's get ourselves slow enough, get ourselves fully configured. Quick breeze through the overhead, that's all fine. And disarm the auto throttle. By aircraft. It's a bit of a crosswind. Don't want to dip too low beneath the glide slope.
400.
Keep it as we are now. Don't know what's going on with the pathways.
300.
Drop the nose a bit. Don't want to be too high now.
200.
Oh, I forgot to set my decision height. Whoops. Well, I'll continue
100.
anyway.
50. 30. 20.
Left.
10.
Hold it. Ah, float. Float, 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 float. Auto reverse. There we go. I knew I forgot to do something, and that was what I forgot to do. Go. Vancouver's idle reverse because of noise abatement, manual braking, stove reverses, and that's got to be one of, well, other than that mad flow, that's got to be one of my best landings today. Welcome to Vancouver, ladies and gentlemen. Let's vacate here. And Vancouver traffic, Westjet 705, vacated Mike 5.
Vancouver traffic, Walker station 01, 10 mile final, 8 left, Vancouver.
Alright, so stop our block timer and get ourselves cleaned up, so got our speed brakes back in, light directors can come off, well, disarm the auto brake first, then turn the flight directors off, and turn our landing lights off. No, beacon light can stay on, I don't want to turn that off. Engine start switches can both go to off. And first begins our long taxi all the way to the other side of the airfield. Isn't that great? I won't turn the APU on just yet, but I will give us some power just to get us moving. I think I'm starting to get the hang of these 7.3 landings. I mean, I held the flare for a bit too long, held it a bit too high, but yeah, it's definitely a lot smoother than my first landing of it. And can I say as well, my god, what a joy this aircraft is to fly. It is incredible. It's just so responsive and so smooth and it's just too good. Right, terrain radar can go off as well. Terrain radar's off on that side, which is all good. So Westjet park on the southern side of the main terminal. So what we have to do is we've got to go all the way down and then make a left turn onto Juliet to then get to our gate. Again, APU isn't on just yet. We're like nowhere near our gate, but what I will do is I will get another screenshot. There we go. Just keep ourselves on the taxiway centre line. Yeah, this is the FSimStudios Vancouver, and it is stunning. It performs really well.
Vancouver traffic, Walker station 01, sharp final 8 left, Vancouver.
So I believe the next left, that should be Papa, so I believe the next left is Juliet. And then from that, it's all the way down Juliet, across to the other side of the terminal, then somehow getting onto Golf, to then go to the apron. Right, that aircraft that was behind us was, over there. Nice. Very nice. Velocity, never mind, there's his landing gear. Let's have a peek. What's he flying? Is that a Neo? Looks it. Donk! Very nice. Okay. Yep, here's Juliet. It seems to be a habit, innit? Just me flying stuff with really long taxi routes. Okay. Let's take another look outside. Some more mountains behind us. This is amazing.
Vancouver traffic, Walker station 01, clear of 8 left, make 3, Vancouver.
Fantastic. Alright, so just keep the course bug as it is, I suppose, can't we? Right, we've just got to keep on going. I'll give us a bit more power just to sort of speed us up. So we've got to go right here, I believe. Then just keep carrying on. around the edge of a terminal. This taxis really nicely as well. Oh, nice. Little contact ground markings on the apron as well. That's really, really handy. I genuinely cannot wait for you know, stuff like the Burbank update to release, and obviously for me to be a bit more confident so I can fly this into Midway. It's always been an airport I've been meaning to fly into, so yeah, fingers crossed that won't be too far off. Right, so what we can do here is we can turn left and right. We find ourselves on Golf. We'll slow down a bit though, we don't want to take this turn at 16 knots. Or do we? Right, I think now might be a good idea to turn the APU on. Let's have that fire up. And I know these are static aircraft, but there's some vibing here anyway. Are my flaps up? Yes they are. Well, I was hoping they would be anyway. Right, so we'll go into one of these little stands over there. Well, I say little, they're actually pretty huge. Right, I'll turn the taxi lights off, just in preparation. And you know what? We will take stand number 18. Excellent. Alright, so just a quick tap on the brakes. And you know what? That looks fine. Although there are ground markings on this next stand, but oh well. Right. You want to move a bit forward? Yeah, go on then. Yeah, just moves a bit forward and just park up here. There we go. Park and brake on. There we go. Park and brake can go on. And we can go to menu, FS actions, ground services, and we won't set the chocks just yet, but what I will do is I will call the jetway and see what that does. Okay, it's actually going to the front door, that's good. Okay, so APU generator online. Switch over to the gen. APU bleed can go on, engine bleeds can go off, and goodbye fuel. 5 hours and 2 minutes on the block. Make that 5 hours and 3 minutes on the block. Oh well. Click the wrong thing, but 5 hours and 3 minutes on the block. Incredible. So, turn our seatbelt signs off. Excellent. Okay. Now what we can do is we can go back to FS actions, set the chocks, release the parking brake, request the GPU, go back to FS actions, just open that door for old time's sake. And not that door, I meant to open the cargo door. Just close, please. Right, close door. Just open the cargo doors, why not? Okay, so ground power is available. We'll switch to ground power now. And shut the APU off as well. Beacon light can go off. Almost forgot to do that as well. yeah, seem to have forgotten quite a few things today. Apologies. Right, probe heats off, window heats can stay on for now. But the one thing I will turn off is if I can find the click spot for fuel pumps. So, good night. You'll stop drinking some fuel now. And with that, alright, let's have a look and see how we did. Oh, we've got 7.4 tons of fuel left. Okay. And of course the jetway just decides to yeet itself. So, just go back, please. Just stay there. Please. Okay. What we'll do as well is just get the loaders as well. Just have them pop in. No, with that, we've made it to Vancouver successfully. We've bloated it a bit on the landing, but I'm sure we can all ignore that. We think the landing was smooth enough anyway, and according to Valanta, it was a minus 62 feet per minute. So, yeah, GG Omar, well done. In any case, though, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed both this one and the last PMDG 7.3 video. And I shall hope to see you again, well, hopefully in this aircraft, because I'm just that in love with it, soon. Take care.